Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Before I begin, I'd like to hit the like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. And today we are looking at the UK's physical geography again, and we're going to be looking at how rates of erosion vary around the country, depending on certain factors. So we're going to be looking at these factors. So the first factor that has an impact on how quickly or slowly the coastline erodes is geology. So in the eastern part of the UK, we have clay, especially along the Holderness coastline, the Kent coastline, and clay is very, very soft and consolidated, so it will erode very, very quickly. So rates of erosion are going to be very high, up to 2 metres maybe, along the Holderness coastline. In the west of the UK, we have much harder geology, so we have igneous rock, some harder sedimentary rocks, so they will erode at much lower rates. So the amount of erosion that people see there is much, much lower. Secondly is what's happening on the cliff. So this is related to geology, but it's another factor. So cliff processes, either at the foot of the cliff or subaerial processes at the top. So at the base of the cliff, we can have erosional processes happening, abrasion, hydraulic action, the waves hitting the base of the cliff, etc. And they will have a big impact on how quickly or slowly those cliffs will crumble into the sea. So if the sea is right up to the cliff line, right at the bottom of the cliff, then it will start eroding the bottom of the cliff. Now also at the top of the cliff, if we have lots and lots of rainfall or a lot of plants, etc., then we can have a lot of weathering at the top of the cliff, and that can cause slumping or sliding, so that will have a big impact on the rates of erosion as well. So cliff foot, the process that happen in there, and the subaerial processes at the top of the cliff will have an impact on rates of erosion as well. So the next one is the waves themselves. So if the waves have got a very long fetch like they have in the western part of the UK, then they will bring waves that have got much more energy. So the higher the energy in the waves, the more erosion will happen. Okay, the more energy, the more power that wave will have crashing against the coastline. If we look at the eastern part of the UK, Holderness, which will be your case study, in the winter time, when those waves are coming from the northeast and they are hitting the coastline with that very long fetch, then rates of erosion are very, very high because those waves have got a lot of power. And then finally, human actions on the coastline. So if we have a lot of land use, a lot of housing maybe, a lot of industry, etc., then that can put weight on top of the coastline. And then that coastline can erode quicker because that weight will kind of force sliding and slumping along that coastline, and then those houses or those industries will be lost. Holderness coastline is a good example of this. Cowden Farm, we had lots and lots of houses along just down from kind of Mappleton, things like that, some of the smaller villages where we have a lot of housing, etc. Then that can put drainage, that kind of thing, that can put a lot of pressure on top and push that land downwards. So they are our factors that have an effect on the rates of erosion. Now, what's the impact of that on people? So in one of the previous videos, we talked quite a lot about climate change and erosion and flooding and the impact on people and property. So you can use these case studies from either the Holderness coastline or from Bangladesh. Okay, so but Bangladesh obviously is more about flooding really than erosion, so maybe keep it to the UK. So here we've got homes destroyed, we've got infrastructure being destroyed, we've got businesses being impacted, etc. We've got farmland being lost, and we've got tourism being lost. If the cliffs are destroyed and the beaches are removed, then it doesn't do very well for tourists to be around the area. So why do some coastlines experience rapid erosion? We can use these factors here, and then if it's what is the impact of that rapid erosion on people, then I would use your Holderness coastline here to talk about these impacts. So that is the coastal rates of erosion and how they vary.